I stepped out of the truck, my boots crunching on the gravel, heart still racing with adrenaline from the war zone I had left just 12 hours earlier. I thought my son would be the first to run into my arms, but the yard was quiet. There were no welcome signs, no smiling faces, only the wind and a gate swinging gently. The house in front of me felt strange and unwelcoming. I found my son behind the barn. His face was swollen, his left eye shut from bruising, his knees scraped and his breathing weak. "Dad," he whispered, "please help me. Mom and her boyfriend, they hurt me." I told him he's not my dad. That one sentence shattered something deep inside me I didn't even know could still break. I held him tightly in my arms and rushed him straight to the emergency room. His small body shook the entire way. The doctors treated his injuries, took pictures, and made detailed notes. Then I made a single phone call. 3 hours later, her boyfriend was found dead in his bedroom. My wife, now my ex-wife, screamed like a wild banshee when the police arrived. She claimed she didn't know anything, then collapsed in the driveway crying, her mascara running down her cheeks like blood. She should have saved that act for someone who still cared. 5 years ago, I had trusted her with everything. We were high school sweethearts and got married at 22. She promised to wait for me while I was deployed. She promised loyalty. She promised to protect our son like I would. We bought that house together. White fences, pancakes on Sundays, bedtime stories. She cried when I left for my second tour, saying she didn't know how she'd live without me. But somehow she found a way. Began with small changes. Missed phone calls. She got a new phone number and said it was just easier. My son stopped mentioning her, only talked about the babysitter, Uncle Jordan, someone I had never heard of. When I asked her, she dismissed it, saying he was just a helpful friend. I believed her. While I served my country, she served herself. Then one night a friend back home sent me a photo. Jordan was holding my son and kissing her neck at the county fair. The photo was time-stamped, just 2 months into my deployment. I didn't explode. I didn't yell or blame. I simply observed. I checked our joint bank account. She was buying men's cologne, golf clubs, and booking hotel rooms nearby. While I was sending her every hard-earned dollar, I quietly saved every piece of evidence. Screenshots, receipts, dates. 3 weeks before returning home, I filed for emergency custody, without telling her. I didn't need to. But nothing could have prepared me for what I found behind that barn. My son, hurt for being loyal, punished for loving me. He told me the boyfriend got drunk, insulted him, and slammed his head into a cabinet because he wouldn't say, "I love you" back. My ex-wife stood by and did nothing. She didn't just betray me, she failed her own child. I wasn't careless. Revenge is meaningless when driven by anger. True justice is calm, quiet, and impossible to deny. The call I made was to a man named Keller, an old friend now working in internal affairs. He owed me a favor, and I reminded him why. Jordan had a record, a sealed one. Charges for assault, domestic violence, and drug use. I gave Keller my son's medical report, the photographs, and the statements. Within a few hours, Jordan's parole officer and a detective were knocking on his door. He resisted arrest. Grabbed a knife. He never made it to the police station. That night, I watched the local news from my hotel room, my son peacefully asleep beside me. Local man shot during attempted arrest. Investigation underway into child abuse claims. She called me 5 times. I didn't answer. The next morning, she showed up at the hospital. Her fake tears gathered in the hallway. "You did this," she hissed. "No," I replied. "You did." I handed her the custody papers, signed, sealed, and stamped by the court. She lunged at me, screaming. Security had to pull her off the floor. 2 weeks later, I stood before the judge. Calm, in full uniform. I laid everything out. The photos, the receipts, the cheating, the abuse, her neglect, every lie, every injury, every stolen dollar. She tried to cry, but the court didn't feel sorry for performers. They gave me full custody. They suspended her visitation rights until she received psychological clearance. She lost it all. I didn't smile. I didn't brag. I simply walked out of the courtroom holding my son's hand, his small fingers gripping mine like a lifeline. Do I regret it? No. I regret trusting her. I regret not noticing the signs earlier. But justice? No. I never regret that. You don't hurt a soldier's child and expect no consequences. You don't destroy a man's home while he's risking his life for his country. She thought I'd be too far away, too busy, too honorable. She forgot I fight wars for a living. And this one was personal. Betrayal cuts deep. But revenge leaves scars they can never hide.